Location gets easily spoofed or hacked, right? You can download the GPS spoofing app and pretend that you're in San Diego right now, but you're actually here in Melbourne. And that's a problem for any second app on your phone or for self-driving cars, smart cities, you name it. Came up with a technology called XYO, which allows you to avoid spoofing of location and gives you like certainty of location.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. We're here with Markus Levin from XYO Network. Markus, welcome to the couch.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Now Markus, we were just chatting a bit before this. You've made the trip from California for this interview, I hear.
Yeah, I only came for you.
Yeah, of course.
My flight is right after.
Prestigious Tapping Into Crypto podcast, yes.
I love it.
People fly all over the world for us.
You guys are famous, you know?
Oh,
How can I miss it?
We'll take it, Now, Markus, can you tell us a little bit about XYO Network, kind of how it started, where the idea came from, and what you guys are looking to do?
Yeah, sure. You want the long version or like a 2-minute overview?
Yeah, we'll get the long version. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. So we started in 2012. We were IoT location company. We did like GPS beacons and this type of stuff. Then in 2017, we realized location gets easily spoofed or hacked, right? You can download the GPS spoofing app and pretend that you're in San Diego right now, but you're actually here in Melbourne, right?
Yep.
And that's a problem for any second app on your phone or for self-driving cars, smart cities, you name it. And so came up with a technology called XYO, which allows you to avoid spoofing of location and gives you like certainty of location. And we used to do that with IoT devices and mobile phones and all these things. And these devices basically create proofs of cryptographic handshakes between each other, and that way you can prove that they were close to each other, and you can have a relational map and so on and so on and so on. Then over time, we realized that location is important to validate and verify a lot of other data as well, right? So if you say, for example, the weather is good, right, then the location is relevant. Or if you speak about a restaurant, or if you say you meet a friend or whatever, the location is relevant in a lot of things, like in transactions. And so we built on top of that a data layer where we are now validating and verifying really any data. And it's can, for example, prove that, let's say, your healthcare data came from a hospital, right, which doctor wrote it down, where it was put into the system, and how that ended up in your digital identity, for example, right? And you have these handshakes and handoffs of a data point, for example. And today we have like more than 5 million nodes providing data through the XYO network. It makes us one of the largest oracles in the world. So we're an oracle. It's part of that, but also we are basically a data validator and auditor. We believe in data sovereignty, permanence, and provenance of the data. And yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
Right. What a rundown. Now, you were just talking to me before, and it was an interesting concept. You have the token XYO, which is listed on Coinbase.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know as well, you mentioned you have tokenized shares in XYO Network or XYO Labs?
XYO Labs, yes, there's a company behind it. Yes.
So can you explain that? And because I asked, isn't that just a share in a company? Like, how is it different? And you mentioned like the SEC, and we talk about regulation a lot. So I'm interested to hear from your perspective and how you've navigated that area.
Yeah. As you and your listeners know, right, there's utility tokens and there are security tokens. And today, most of the tokens from our crypto perspective are utility tokens, right? The XYO token powers the XYO network, right? It rewards you to participate and create nodes and provide data to the network, or ETH you use, right, for gas fees, for example, to run the network, right? But then there's security tokens, and security tokens could be any tokenized asset, really, right? It could be your couch, right? You could say, okay, I'm going to rent out this couch, right, and tokenize it and sell like 100 couch token, right? And then everybody who has a couch token earns rent for when this couch is rented to someone else, right? You can do that with bicycles or your vacation rentals, let's say Airbnb, type like that, right? And can also do that with shares, right? And so we are a little different. As a normal company, we decided not to take VC money, but we believe in community, and we did something called in the US called a Regulation A, which is basically crowdfunding on steroids, where we have now more than 23,000 shareholders in the company. And we now, because we're so crypto native, we tokenized the shares and listed them on something that's called an alternative trading system, which is similar to a stock exchange like the Nasdaq or NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange. And it's fully SEC regulated and regulated by other regulators in the US. And we are the most traded company stock in the United States right now with XYLB, which is our ticker, and the sixth listed company also in the US. And it's the opening. It's especially we are early explorer there, but there's going to be in the next year or two. It's going to be the floodgates going to open in this ATS system with tokenized assets.
Yeah, I think tokenized asset is probably the term or the phrase of this convention, right? It's been thrown around so much, and there's so many more players in the space this year as opposed to last year. So, yeah, fantastic opportunity to. It's fantastic that you're in the space early and you're capturing that market. Now, XYO token is listed on Coinbase. I know Coinbase is one of the most reputable exchanges in the world. You mentioned you're based out of San Diego in California, and Coinbase, I'm assuming, is not far from you there. So I just want to ask, what is the token listing process for getting on Coinbase?
It took 3.5 years.
3.5 years, okay. Only?
Coinbase is awesome. They are making sure that you are the right project at the right time. They list you right, and you have to hit a lot of check marks before they list you on the exchanges, right? And so it was complex. Some of it is confidential, I think, but it's complex. It's a lot of talking with people and evangelizing your projects, and also finding people who speak up for you and on your behalf at Coinbase. But it took 3.5 years.
Yeah, awesome.
When it happened, it was. I was on a call with Ed Helms. You know the actor, Ed Helms? Yeah. Okay. Ed Helms emceed one of our conferences a few years back, and we paid him in XYO, and I was on a call with him to speak about XYO and everything, and I was screaming into the microphone, when the Coinbase listing happened, and he was like, Markus, this only happened because of me, and you owe me half the company, Ed Helms.
Ed Helms takes
the
cake on that one. Yeah, cool. And what are your main competitors in the space at the moment?
Yeah, on the Oracle space, there is Chainlink does a little bit of that. They are more a technology company connecting data providers like us with smart contracts, for example, right? But Chainlink does a little bit of that, and then there is API 3 and a few other Oracle providers. They are all a little smaller than us. We take a novel approach because we have so many nodes, right? In the beginning, we created a product for crypto nerds, so like you and me, right? But the addressable market in 2018 when we launched XYO was very, very, very small, right? 1-2% of the population dealt in crypto and blockchain, right? Today it's more, but it's still small. But we found a way to make it attractive to non-crypto people as well. So we created an app called Coin. It's an augmented reality rewards app, which lets you earn crypto as you explore the world and share data back to the network. And you can just download it in the App Store, like Google or Apple, and you earn coin, which you can then exchange for XYO or BTC or ETH or even for products, right? So in this way, in the beginning, 100% of the people who participated in XYO were also crypto people. Now about 80% of the people participate in XYO are non-crypto people, and we turn them into crypto people. Wow. So we are evangelizing the world into crypto.
Yeah, I think it's a topic that we often discuss is what are the main barriers to mainstream crypto adoption? And I think it's removing that complexity to it and making it just easy to use for the everyday Aussie, everyday person, right. And just allowing them to not even think that it's on blockchain or it's involved with crypto, and it's just enhances or optimizes their day to day, and right. Makes things quicker, makes things more scalable, whatever it may do. So you guys doing great in that space. So Last question. Moving away from XYO for a little bit.
Sure.
Are there any other tokens in the space that you've got your eye on, or projects that you think could potentially, buck the trend and really, like, I don't want you to give any, financial advice or have any hot tips, but just like projects that you're keeping your eye on.
ETH is my
Yeah.
darling, it's like pulled me into space. And actually 2013, I started a Bitcoin mining company with some other people, but we gave it up. But then ETH pulled me back into the space, and they have exciting stuff planned for the next year. It's like the grandfather of the industry, but still, it's I think super exciting stuff coming there. But also layer 2s like Polygon, building some amazing cool new stuff.
Yeah, I think layer 2s in particular are going to be one of the biggest sectors in the upcoming year, especially as we head into
I agree with that.
a new cycle. So yeah, I'm watching the layer 2s very closely. Alrighty, well, Markus, thank you so much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate you giving the rundown on XYO and the regulation and what the market's like in the US. So really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. It was awesome.
A great convention.
Yeah, thank
See
you.
you around.
You as well.
Thanks, guys.